Okay. Thank you, Vittorio. You're...
Yeah, he is coming. No, please.
Sorry.
Okay. This slide is okay, yes?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Please
Thank
go.
you.
Good, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for the attention. Thank you for the proposition to present such result. The title of our report is the LENR solution of the cosmological lithium problem. Very interesting title. Yes. Sorry. Traditionally, it is believed that LENR processes take place only in special laboratory systems. In fact, such processes can occur in wide various systems, including, for example, biology system and even in cosmological objects. Let's consider such problem. The basic of modern cosmology is a Big Bang theory, well known. The validity of this theory is based on the three main facts. First one, it is the redshift, of course, the spectral lines. Another one, the presence of cosmic microwave background radiation. And next one, the theory of primary Big Bang nucleosynthesis. It is a fusion of initial light isotopes. Calculation of the formation, evolution of three isotopes were repeated many times and in very good agreement with the result of modern astronomical observation. The problem or paradox is during the comparison of these results of theoretical calculation based on the BBN model with data of astronomical observation for the concentration of lithium and isotopes. The modern registered relative concentration of lithium-7 isotope is 3 times less than its calculated BBN date. From the another case, observed concentration of lithium-6 isotope is from 300 up to 500 higher than the prediction of BBN theory. For example, you can see the result of calculation for isotopes like it has the same result, but it is a calculation from the theory BBN such value. It is out of experimental, increasing by 500 and decreasing by 3 times. We have looking for this date. The maximum difference between the BBN estimation and astronomical observation corresponding to all stars of the third generation with time life of 10 billions of years and decrease for younger star. This calculation, circumstance allows to conclude that such effect is associated not with one-time phenomena, but with multiple repeated processes in the volume of stars. Let's consider this problem in details. The process of changing both increase and decrease of lithium isotopes in such reaction, it is a main reaction of transmutation of both isotopes after initial BBN fusion are described by the system of evolution. It is evolution for isotope Li6 and Li7. It follows from the standard point of view from method of realization of nuclear fusion, different reaction. From the solution of this equation, it is possible to determine the very important parameters. The time during the concentration of isotope Li6 will increase by 500 times, and isotope Li7 will decrease by 3 times compared to the initial BBN theory. It is a result of our calculation. It is a time during which from initial of the start of the finish of initial BBN fusion, where the concentration of such isotope will be increased or decreased by this value, this time one and another one. Okay. It is a simple method of analysis, typical for any BBN theory in cosmology. On the right side part of this slide, you can see the figure that shows the dependence of both types. It is a dependence of the time for creation of lithium. It is a kind of destruction of lithium-7 isotope, decrease and increase of the lithium-6 isotope. So the current present time of experimental measurement of this concentration values of this parameter should correspond to the intersection of these two graphs. So current moment where this result is agreement with the result of calculation. It can be seen from the presented data that these graphs approach each other with increasing temperature, of course, but not intersect anyway at any temperature and any proton concentration of star. Consequently, the observed result for specific value of the concentration of isotopes cannot be explained on the basis of standard nuclear fusion. It is such the same process in detail, because in this result, there is a destruction of a condition of initial equation for isotopic evolution. So it is not possible obtain the result, experimental result, based on standard analysis of nuclear reaction. We have shown that this problem can be successfully solved if we take into account the influence of the considered nuclear reaction in stars volume, both one way shock wave generated in stars due to the non-stationary process, for example, to coronal loop format above the stellar surface, this one, and processes of fast switching of local magnetic field. In such processes, in generation of coronal loop, the huge mass, tens of billions of tons, are injected from the surface of the star and return in very short time, several 10 seconds, which then return and hit the chromosphere with a very high velocity of return motion up to 5·10⁷ centimeter per second. Exciting fast and intensive shock wave in such interaction, such very fast accelerated interaction of such giant mass lead to generation of very intensive shock wave in the volume of any stars. Okay. At the front of this shock wave, there is a very fast pulse modulation of both the density of the one plasma and the distance between particles. At the border between the convection zone and radiative transfer zone of the star, the compression process of the medium corresponded not to a weak adiabatic shock wave, traditional weak wave, but to the very intensive isothermic shock wave. It is a special shock wave that the process of squeezing is at the same temperature, because in this place, any medium is totally ionized. This process leads to very essential fast modulation of the frequency of ionic hydrogen plasma oscillation. It's typical plasma oscillation for heavy ions. And we have the very short, very fast and very intensive modulation. Whereas in this case, parameter K, it is a Mach number. Mach number for action of such shock wave that is a result of surface injection of mass is up to several tens, up to 100 units. The oscillatory state of the particles, such oscillator, it is not stationary oscillator, is such a dynamic environment corresponding to non-stationary or compressed harmonic oscillator with fast oscillation on the front of the shocking wave. The similar process of the modulation of synchronic frequency of ions and nuclei in the atmosphere and the upper level of star take place at very fast switching of magnetic field of stars, because it is another process that takes place. It is a very fast switch or squeezing of magnetic field, because the traditional magnetic field in the sun, it is about several Ørsted. But in the case of action of some dynamical process, the process of squeezing magnetic field up to several thousand of Ørsted take place. So because the magnetic field for any ions, it is absolutely similar to the harmonic oscillator well now, so the process takes place. So we have the modulation of equivalent oscillator in the case of action of shocking wave, mechanical shocking wave, and action of variable magnetic field. The presence of shock modulation of the parameter of such an oscillator lead to the formation of coherent correlated states of this particle. We have discussed such process in preview report of the S.Bartalucci. The standard Heisenberg relation, standard for non-correlated state, corresponded in particular to such situation where the particle before the beginning of the coherent correlated states formation process was in ground lower state. Another, but it may be new for some part of scientists, in the case where the particle is as excited on level state in such, the Heisenberg standard equation has a different form, you can see, different, because there is a number of excited level. Accordingly, when a coherent correlated state is formed on the basis of such an excited system, the Schrödinger-Robertson, not Heisenberg, Schrödinger-Robertson correlated state, uncertainty relation takes the following form, different. You can present the coefficient of coherent efficiency that connected with the coefficient of correlation, and also the initial excited state of the such oscillator, because such atoms in the ionic oscillation and in the magnetic field in excited state that connected with a realistic temperature, real temperature. In result, we have the following expression. We have the expression for fluctuation of energy. It is device this fluctuation of pulse divided by 2 mass. And we have the following expression. We have increasing of the fluctuation of energy by up to several thousand in relation to the thermal energy on the front of such mechanical shock wave or in the front of variable magnetic field. For the giant kinetic edge, fluctuation corresponded to this process. In this case, we can obtain the successfully optimized expression for the nuclear fusion rate. It is a typical expression. It's a variable product of cross-section and velocity. But what's the difference? We have not traditional temperature. Index 9, it is a temperature in the units of billions of degree. But temperature multiplied by coefficient of correlation, no, not coefficient, efficient correlation by power 2 here and power 2. Of course, it is very increasing the transparency of coefficient, increasing of coefficient transparency of potential barrier for the basic reaction. The physical reason for very significant increase in transparency of the barrier in the correlated state is the constructive interference of the mutually correlated agent wave function of the energy and momentum of particle in a non-stationary potential well, which lead to the formation of giant fluctuation of momentum and kinetic energy, the amplitude which is many order, for example, three order 1,000 times. We had calculated both characteristic time required for the realization of the same result for realization of the process for crossing of the laws of dependence of time for one reaction and another one. This one, it is a duration of the formation of experimentally observed concentration of lithium-6 and lithium-7 isotope as a function of temperature. It is a temperature in the presence of correlated states and also in the concentration of proton, but normalized value. You can see that in all cases, at any Mach number for any reaction, we have the same point, crossing point, where in this point we have the increasing of the concentration of lithium-6 by 500 and decreasing of lithium-7 by 3 times. So it is a result with very good correlation of theoretical and theory and the result of astronomical observation. Also, the process takes place for any process. For example, you can more wide interval of the Mach parameter of the parameter of squeezing, not only for 50 or 30, also 10 and 5. Also, we have absolutely the same value. Of course, for different temperature, because this process may be in different place of stars.
Sorry, I have to remind you that you have 5 minutes more.
Okay, right, thank you. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you very much.
Okay. It can be seen from this result that the both values of Mach parameters and important result take place. The coincidence of duration is very important. Of duration of current value of the concentration of both lithium isotopes with for theoretical calculation, experiment observation. There is some analysis. The specific duration of the existences formed and correlated states may be calculated at about, for example, for concrete parameters on the border between so-named convention zone and zone of radiation transformer, it's about 10 power minus 14 seconds. In the considered region star, the concentration of protons, it is normalized parameter, is about 10 power 26, 27. In result, we have the for formation of such process in real part, we necessary time about 1 microsecond. For the microsecond will be such process. Because the duration such each correlated state is very low, so for such realization, we need about 10 power 9, 10 power 8 mutual independent powerful shock wave for such value. For different place will be several different. So we can, that is very, very important, the process of changing of both isotopes in increasing with increase of number of times. So it is a process that not one time process, but process that formed during many repeated acts. There are also many other places in the volume atmosphere of stars where the same process is possible. This calculates the nature of the formation of lithium isotope concentration is a very good agreement with the date of astronomical observation, which confirms that these anomalies increase with the age of stars and are most pronounced precisely in all stars, which directly follow from the result of our calculation. Summary. The considered mechanism of transformation of lithium isotopes in the volume of stars in the framework of the astrophysical lithium problem is based on the well-tested principle of quantum mechanics and nuclear physics. It does not, repeat once more, does not require a revision of the foundation of Big Bang theory. The process of automatic formation of coherent correlated states of protons and deuterons realized in the front of the mechanical shock wave of variable magnetic field provides a gradual evolution of the concentration of both isotopes, synchronized with shock wave of stars and not require high temperature, because the real temperature for such process not necessary temperature that equivalent to, for example, several tens keV. No, it is temperature only several electron volts or several tens electron, not more than 100 electron volts. A very significant aspect of such process is satisfaction of three main conditions. First one, a synchronized threefold decrease in the concentration Li7 and 500-fold increase in the concentration of Li6 isotopes, which is fully consistent with the astronomical date. Next one, the realization of such mutually opposite change in the concentration for the period from the end of the primary nucleosynthesis to the present time. And was the agreement of these processes with the data that showed that such a change in the concentration of lithium isotope is the best concentration with all stars. And also, last slide, these processes are very similar to the results of experimental LENR realization with the participation of Li7 isotope using low energy protons that move in the volume of lithium crystal. This problem we discussed in preview report of S.Bartalucci, and these results were published in these articles. This is connected with the selective specificity of realization of LENR reaction, which are simulated but short-term energy fluctuation. So the process that take place on the volume in the atmosphere of stars, not in the center, of course, in the center of stars, of course, there is very high temperature. No, it is the upper level of stars, atmosphere, and the corona of stars. So such process very similar, the process that take place in experiment on the stimulation reaction of Li7 plus proton, and also it is it leads to the decrease of concentration Li7. And it is not possible the reaction Li6 plus proton. It's also because in this case it is not not place process the formation of correlated states for Li6 and possible formation for Li7. Also, thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Professor Vysotskii. We have used some minutes of the break time, so I think that we have to postpone the questions to the discussion time. So thank you very much for your good talk.
Okay, so our presentation is already 5 minutes behind the schedule. Then we will start 10 minutes later.
Okay.
Have a coffee break. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, okay, right. Because it is necessary more much time. Yes, right.
Can I ask the question to the Vladimir Vysotskii?
Please.
Vladimir, if I understand you correctly, your approach concerning to the using shock wave propagation in the solar atmosphere. And what about another isotope, not lithium, but boron, for example, and so on? It's,
yes, it is very interesting because it is the same problem, the nature or possibility of formation of coherent correlated state. Such process, it is possible not only any reaction, because there is very great difference between the reaction stimulated but realistic energy, real energy, particle with real energy, and particle with virtual energy, because virtual fluctuation of energy existed very short time. In maximal time, it is about 10 power minus 15 seconds. So any reaction that need for conducting many times, it is impossible stimulated by the coherent correlated state. For example, main reaction P plus P reaction in solar, it is a reaction with weak interaction. Such reaction has very long duration. Another way, a reaction Li6, for example, plus proton. From traditional point of view, Li6 plus proton, Li7 proton, approximately the same reaction, but not reaction Li7 proton is a reaction that with very short duration, 10 power minus 22. Reaction Li6 plus proton is time about 10 power minus 13 seconds. So one reaction stimulated, another not. The same process is take place for another isotope. It is necessary very precision analyze the real parameter of such reaction. First of all, reaction with weak interaction or only strong interaction. It is connected with the finished decay or not. It is a reaction with immediately gamma radiation or radiation after some delay, so on. So not any reaction it is possible. It is special question because necessary special analysis. Okay. And also
Vladimir, can you clear and answer for my question? Shock wave mechanism is needed for your model. Is that correct?
Generally correct, but the following, I have more precision. In our case, we can consider not action of shock wave in atmosphere, but in the surface volume, under the surface, because atmosphere, of course, it's also possible, but the concentration of particle is very low. We need more concentrated medium. The best, in my condition, in my opinion, the best place, it is a body between convention zone and zone of radiation transfer. Why? Because in usual shock wave, the maximal squeezing coefficient, it is no more dependent from some parameter about 4 or 5 times. But in the case of medium, where the medium is totally ionizing, there is only specific isothermic wave. In isothermic wave, the coefficient of squeezing is equal to Mach parameters. It may be squeezing not several units, but several tens or several hundreds. And of course, such process much more intensive. So we have calculated process that take place in some deeper under the surface of sun. It's more best.
Vladimir, I understand your answer, but my short remarks, it's impossible to use equation of the ordinary gas dynamic for the solar atmosphere because of we have a plasma. Mach number, estimation of Mach number, your estimation of Mach number is not correct. Is not correct.
Yes, of course. But in my calculation, Mach number equal not a traditional parameter, but Mach number is relation of velocity of shock wave to the local thermal velocity. It is only for isothermic.
It's not correct because of there are many experimental results that.
No, it is a very precision, very detailed fundamental research for the parameter of isothermic wave. It is a different wave. It is not traditional wave. Because it is not adiabatic wave. Isothermic wave, it is not adiabatic wave. It is the absolutely different process.
But Vladimir, the isothermic wave is not shock wave. Is specific.
It is your understanding. It is a traditional point. Is isothermic wave. It is an adiabatic wave. Best way for our process is
not adiabatic. It's the equation of the Dugonio-Rankine-Dugonio is Rankine-Dugonio equation.
Yes, Rankine-Dugonio equation is only for adiabatic wave, but isothermic wave, it is a different wave. So it is not adiabatic. It is absolutely different wave. I repeat once more that parameter, Mach parameter for isothermic wave is a relation of the motion of front of shock wave to the temperature wave, the temperature motion of particles. But in the case of adiabatic wave, it is absolutely different wave. The dependence of the thermodynamic parameter is a value of Mach wave for adiabatic not more than about 5-6 units, but isothermic wave maybe several tens and up to 100 times. It's more strong squeezing, because in this case, if we squeeze the isothermic wave,
Vladimir, isothermic wave is your fantasy.
I
measure parameter of the shock wave in plasma, and this wave have a very complex structure.
Okay, it is a problem of your education and your understanding. I know another date.
Can I ask Professor Vysotskii something?
Yes.
Yeah, these shock waves that you talk about, do we have any kind of observation into the cosmos that we see that? And my second follow-up question would be, when I just saw your presentation, of course, but is that not evidence that the Big Bang model is erroneous? Is that not the core of your message, please?
Yes, we haven't conducted astronomical observation, of course. We have used the well-known standard result of astronomical observation of parameter of the distribution of light isotopes and date that related to the initial BBN theory. This date is published in many thousand books and articles. So of course it is not our result observation. We have only conducted analysis such process, one of the possible methods of the solution of lithium problem.
Yes, but the lithium problem is, of course, a problem that comes from the Big Bang hypothesis.
Yes,
and
yes,
as you mentioned in your presentation, you would need many shock waves in order to facilitate these isotopic ratios. So if you turn it around, is this not evidence that is contradicting the Big Bang hypothesis? So should we not look at this problem completely differently? Maybe that is what I'm asking.
We have used standard, I repeat once more, we have used the standard date for Big Bang theory and modern modern astrophysical analysis.
Okay, thank you.